relatable Skallagrim with, I hate how fake everything is. I'm actually curious what he's referencing and what his opinions on this are.
5 to 10 years ago, the first 10 commenters would trip over themselves, scrambling to make such a valuable, intelligent contribution as first. Now when you put up a video, the first 10 commenters are thoughtbots with AI-generated booty and cleavage and pretty faces, fawning over how good the video is, probably trying to rope some horny, lonely dudes into some sort of scam.
You know, I actually haven't had this problem yet. I don't want this problem, don't get me wrong. I haven't had this one yet.
Progress. Welcome to the cyber dystopia, where everything you could desire is right at your fingertips, except authenticity. There's still plenty of authentic content creators, and that's a dirty word because that's a corporatized version of YouTuber. Back in my day, when the U still meant something, you know, whereas now, content.
I remember when the watch later image had the funny helicopter. I've been on this platform, not uploading. I've been on this platform for a hot minute, and yeah, it's been a wild ride.
It's a dirty word to me because of all the baggage that comes with it, like content mills. I'm sure most people can get behind the notion of quality over quantity, but oftentimes quantity wins with sheer...
Yeah, I mean, look at what I do, right? Like, it's hard for me to take a week off. It's hard for me to take any time off as well because number don't go up, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, like, even let's look at the very tip-top echelons, right? Like, controversies aside, right? Someone like Mr. Beast, right? Or somebody with, you know, dozens of millions of subscribers and viewers, right? Just because they put out a video doesn't necessarily mean that they can take on vacation. They're constantly working. It's actually why I like what I do. I can do as much or as little work as possible, and it's been a challenge. It's been a learning experience to try to juggle my time. As somebody who notoriously has skipped lunches and breaks and missed entire events and family things to do more work, right? That's what has been demanded to be in the workforce. So it's been a learning experience to time manage a lot of this, and also to just take time for myself. Swung a sword today. It was great. It was a good feeling. Definitely a little more winded than I should have been really quickly. But yeah, no. It's hard to have that consistency. In my subjective opinion, and you might have information that might discredit this or information to the contrary, even if it's under NDA, because it's entirely possible someone knows exactly how things work, but they're under NDA, so therefore they can't even say that they're under an NDA. Anyways, it has been showcased that quantity does win. I mean, let's take a look at what I do, right? Let's go to... I'm not going to segue super hard onto this. Kept your milking the watch time. Why did I type in Skyrim? I don't know what's going on. My brain is somewhere. It's clearly not here. You know, and I want to thank everyone for helping get to this point. 1.5k videos, right? There are people with way less who just have the personality, right? VTuber that's been what is it? Is it Sunny Reacts? I never knew they existed until recently. They've been playing Warframe just like me. They're doing numbers. They're doing doing freaking great, right? I don't have that charm. I don't have that charisma. I don't even have that intelligence, if I'm being completely honest. So it's just one of those things that you look at and it's like, I think people do want quality, but unfortunately the way that systems are structured, it does seem like quantity does win out. And if anything, I feel that 1.5k videos to get to the point that I've gotten to is excessive. Don't get me wrong. I've put out a lot of work and I think I forget how much work I've put out, but it's still easier than many people put out. It's easier than, you know, Skallagrim having to go out on a walk and get actual shots of scenery and stuff. People might go, oh, that's low effort. He's just doing a vlog. And it's like, he's still doing work. He's still going out there. I wish I could go out there and do stuff like that.
Numbers, literally. A lot of stuff that's out there now is just less authentic than it used to be. H. Bomber guy put it quite well when talking about the Cinemassacre plagiarism.
These aren't videos anymore. They're products.
The other enemy of authenticity is cringe culture. Of course, there have always been plenty of judgmental people. When I was in school, it was quite common to mock people's personal quirks or different interests or something that the mainstream, whatever that is, didn't approve.
Dude, you have to understand, I got bullied for liking Naruto, okay? I was in military history class in 11th grade, literally cutting my Naruto CCG deck in half and playing with myself at a desk because class was fine. I thought it was interesting. My mind was elsewhere. I got bullied for liking Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Naruto, and now it's just so weird to see like just random normies just wearing Jujutsu Kaisen merch and stuff like that. It's such a strange 180 for me. It's wild.
And everybody did it, and even the popular kids weren't immune from that. But I feel like it's gotten even worse. It's become even more systemic. Whether it be art or some other form of heartfelt self-expression, there would always be someone rushing to post cringe in response. Not that it matters much in and of itself, but I suppose it kind of accumulates. An individual drooling idiot posting that, whatever, but if it keeps happening over and over and over again, it can dampen people's spirits and drag them down and make them less willing to express themselves or experiment with new ideas or anything like that, and more likely to just kind of try to blend in.
I got a comment today about, because I have the VOD channel. I keep trying to market it. It's mostly just Let's Plays and stuff. I kind of do it in my spare time. I'm going super ham into it. Zuna Kip TV. I don't know why Fat Bastard is there. But I have the VOD channel, because Warframe just started going live. And I had somebody just say that the screen was just super cluttered. There's just too much going on. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It might have been the first, actually. I've heard a lot about this game. I've heard a lot of... I think it was the 5th. Because, I'll have Rev and Baka. I'll just have them on stream. I guess it's just too cluttered. I guess, to be fair, I am pretty big in the corner. I'm very specifically trying to block chat here. But it's just one of those, I think there's valid criticism. I think the internet as a whole, the reason why I bring this up, I think the internet as a whole can have valid criticisms. There's valid criticisms about my audio. There's valid criticism about the type of content that I watch. There's valid criticism about pausing too much. 7 minutes in, 7 minutes off of 2 minutes already. I yap a lot. There is valid criticism in that. But unfortunately, a lot of that valid criticism gets lost in transit or completely misconstrued when it just becomes just hate baiting and shit posting. Not even good shit posting. Content bad, Lamau. It's okay, sure, then go watch Skallagrim. Wink, wink. Go watch the original video. I don't know why the internet creates their own problems.
Which is sad. And worse, everyone is so terminally online. Yes. And I mean not just the people who criticize others or mock them or whatever, but everyone. I'm glad that I grew up offline. But now so many people are just every little stupid thing they did as a kid or as a teenager, and we're all like that. We're growing up, our brains are still developing. We're all going to be quote-unquote cringe and do some things that we later look at oh no, why did I do that? Even though
you have those 3 a.m. thoughts of you're about to go to sleep, and you have that thought of the thing you did 20 years ago, and it keeps you up for the next 2 hours. No, I definitely don't know what that's like. I definitely don't know what that feels like. No, sir.
You really shouldn't. It's just part of life. Everyone does that. We all develop. But now it haunts them. Every little thing, every little awkward picture or every weird thing you said or whatever, it's just on the internet forever. And parents put their kids on the internet. Maybe it's...
That is its own problem as well. There have definitely been some allegations, accusations, and even some unfortunate instances of family ABUSE. I'm not sure where YouTube is on that one. There's been some really awful stuff to come out of certain family channels, let's put it that way. That in itself is its own problem, has been exploitative in certain aspects. It's just why I actually was at Demolition Ranch, right? He effectively retired for all intents and purposes. Why I have respect for decisions like that, because I catch it myself, right? I catch myself just I'm picking up my phone right now, obviously, but it's picking up my phone. I was going to go take a shower today, and before I actually hopped in the shower, I checked my phone at least 7 times to see the next update. And it's having that cognizance of, this is a problem. I need to literally do anything else, right? Like, I know for me, in an indoor setting, my peak, and everything comes back to L5R. It's a meme at this point. The best compliment I've had in the past week has been called John L5R, Legend of the Five Rings. You don't know how much that means to me. Like 100%. Like, that game and the community surrounding it was life-changing. I can extrapolate, in my opinion, some of the best social interactions from L5R and apply it to different situations, whether that's going to be outside, whether that's going to be inside, whether that's going to be from a workplace environment. Like, I think that a lot of it is, and I like that this ties into the lack of being genuine, right? I like that it feels disingenuous a lot. We all have issues with it, right? And I think that part of it is, one, just entertainment. Part of it as well is your job. Jobs are not what they were 10, 20, 30 years ago. In 2008, if you were to tell somebody that you are effectively on call 7 days a week if your work needs you, because they'll just email and or call you about a project, and you couldn't say no, I'm sure they'd look at you and just go, excuse you? No, I work my 40. They make talk to me on the clock. When's the last time that really was an interaction, though? When's the last time that you really could just tell a place of business that you work at, like, no, like, you can you will pay me overtime if you want my services. I feel that there has definitely been a creep by management in the workforce. There's been an inappropriate level of meddling in employees' lives. If you're off the clock, you're off the clock. But I think that we have several issues compounding into each other because of this.
The old man in me who just goes, I don't understand what's going on now, but it seems weird to me. I don't think it should be like that. Just let people be, especially younger people. Just let them experiment. Let them do weird things. Let them embarrass themselves or whatever. But don't keep going after them and dig for every little piece of evidence. Evidence of the cringe from 15 years ago or whatever. It's still being held against them as if in a court, like a court of public opinion or whatever, I guess.
So the exception here is, obviously, if it comes out that somebody is a not so legit person and people start bringing receipts, that's different. What he's referring to is, stop picking on randoms for doing stuff. I am cringe, but I am free. I make fool of myself every day on the internet. But you know what? I am free. I get to do this as a job. Right? Sometimes I show up to stream when I remember to show up to stream. Sometimes I play Warframe. Sometimes I play 14. Right? Like, just, oh my God. I'm a 30-year-old dude. I look like Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. And I play Pokemon. It's like, okay, and? But you know what? I get to have fun. And societal expectations. Because societal expectations itself is its own rabbit hole that leads to many interesting discussions.
It's also silly, you know?
Anyway,
what sparked this train of thought, or what reminded me of these kinds of frustrations, I suppose, was recently I looked at e-bikes because...
Sure.
Every now and then, mine gives me some new problem to deal with because it's not the most reliable thing in the world, as it turns out. And then sometimes I just window shop. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to spend the money on a new one, but just to see what's out there. Window shopping, as I said. And looking for reviews to see what's out there. And there's a lot out there. Like, there's 150 brands of Chinese-made bikes. And when you look for information, reviews are actually kind of hard to find now, in the sense that you have to keep scrolling, you have to keep digging, because what pops up first is quite often very obvious promoted content, or even just videos by the company itself.
I feel like that should be an FTC violation. I feel like if you are buying and or paying for reviews, I'm sorry, legally, they are not buying reviews. Many people do not buy reviews. They're merely incentivizing people to leave a good review. Legally speaking, of course. So I do run into issues with that. I think that should be an immediate FTC violation. I think that should be a slap on the wrist, and I think that businesses should be terminated on that ground. Like, your ability to do business, if you are incentivizing good reviews, in especially a monetary or physical capacity, no, that needs to stop. But obviously, it's not going to, right? We don't live in we don't live in the most ethical of business times, as it were. A little bit better, obviously, things like Triangle Shirtwaist Factory happening in modern day, at least Not that I know of. I don't know. But it's definitely one of those things that no, I if you have a product and I find that you have bought, paid for, or monetarily physically incentivized a review, I will not deal in your products. I will refuse to buy your product. But as it turns out, I'm the minority, because at the end of the day, when you look at it, if you are having to scroll through reviews, you are not the majority of people. And that's not a negative thing. That's a positive thing. Skallagrim is not the is not the majority of people who will see, this is the product, right? Review. First comment. Hate how language become hijacked by corporations. This first comment, right? And then you could go, okay. And someone could go, oh, well, this is just going to be a negative impression of the video, and then click off, right? That's people in modernity, right? That in itself is a problem, especially when it comes down to generative AI and trying to figure out what is fact versus fiction, what is misinformation, disinformation, what is truth, what is hearsay, etc. Right? Like, a lot of these compound into each other, and it's up to us as an individual, like Skallagrim is doing, to seek that solution, to seek the answer.
On about how amazing their product is, because of course they want your hard-earned money.
Yeah.
And then there are so many reviews or unboxings and first impression, as I would call it, where it's like, okay, so they keep talking about everything that's good about it, and that's a wrap, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Like, you're wondering, okay, there's got to be something. Sometimes they add a little tokenistic cons. Like, oh, well, you know, just the headlight could be brighter. That's about it. So there are a lot of product reviews that I simply don't trust because I suspect they're bought. But it gets even worse. Like, a lot of the stuff is simply an AI-generated voice rattling off points about how great it is to a...
Dude, I hate that metagame. I hate that metagame. If I hear that AI voice, I'm clicking off that video so quick.
Slideshow of pictures. So, on the one hand, you have content creators and influencers selling their soul to shill a product. Mm-hmm. And on the other hand, you have algorithms.
You know, I applied for a sponsorship. I'm not going to say who it was. They never got back to me. It was like a month and a half later, and they still hadn't got back to me. and then a bunch of drama happened. And I'm like, I think I dodged a bullet there. Which, as it turns out, returns me to my point of if you make a good product, I will talk about you and your good product. Just make a good product. Simple as.
Rhythms doing the same that never had a soul to begin with. It used to be that on the internet, you often have to wonder whether you're talking to an actual adult.
Yes.
Now you have to wonder if you're talking to an actual human being.
Yeah.
People with main character syndrome may call others NPCs. But the thing is, there are literally NPCs on the internet. Plenty of them.
Yes, they are.
And you never know. You can't tell anymore. They have become so advanced at faking dialogue that you just wouldn't know anymore. In fact, sometimes they are more eloquent than real people. In fact, quite often they are. So you don't even know what you're dealing with anymore. So that's all in addition to the usual fakeness that's in the form of ads everywhere.
Yes.
Advertisements.
Oh my God. We're Greetings, loved ones. Let's take a journey. Oh, sorry, ignore that. That's just tactic stuff or Kip React stuff. Let's try this. Let's go on a journey right here. Right. Let's do the 2-second Google test. Okay. We're going to go to Google. We're going to go to, I'm in incognito mode, very specifically because I want to, now it's not going to do it. Oh, you clever girl. As it turns out, so if I were to search in something along the lines of, let's just do VTuber, right? Look at this UI. What is this? Like, it's just add here. It's even worse on mobile as well. I mean, it wants to push shorts. I totally get that. I mean, I don't know. I think the user in it, maybe there, I didn't even know that was an ad. They're starting to hide, they're hiding ads in here too. I don't understand. Like, I get it. Advertisers pay me. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I also just look at YouTube's modern UI and just the amount of ads being shoved. Twitch, right? I have issues on Twitch where I've consistently had to tell people, look, I can't physically do anything about ads. I'm not so entitled or so is trying to find a good word. Not so dumb as to just say, well, just pay for a sub 5 head. No, you shouldn't have to. Like, at the same time, there should be that mutual, like, yeah, there's nothing you can really do about ads, Kip. Like, complaining about it every 10 minutes doesn't really do anything. And in fact, it just creates a negative state for chat. So I get it. We all get it. Ads suck. And, from a legal standpoint, I can't necessarily advise you use an ad blocker on YouTube specifically. I legally cannot advise that you do it. All I can say is to do your own research and come to your own conclusion that best benefits you. Ads are a necessity, but they have gotten well out of control. Like, it is dystopian, the amount of stuff that just pops in my face at this point.
Non-stop. Except now there's a lot of content, again, that is an ad and you don't even really realize it. So it's tiring, don't you think? It's not just me. I know it's not just me. And then, of course, you have, again, the content angle that haunts so many people, myself included, where we're being led by the algorithm in the form of the dangling carrot. Well, actually, no, the views are the dangling carrot. The algorithm is the coachman, I guess. And so now there's always this worry about, oh, should I be doing this? Like, you might want to put out a certain video, and you might think, hey, people probably enjoy this too. I enjoy this. I'm interested in this.
100%. No, I absolutely feel this. I'm so glad that someone else is talking about this. I'm very glad he is. So if we go to Kip Reacts, right? We go here. I can tell you recently, one of my favorite reactions I have ever done, because it was honestly great, and I very much love the Raid series, was Shenpai's video, the Final Fantasy 14 ACC Cruiserweight Savage. One of my favorite reactions I have ever done. I love it. I love being able to look at raid mechanics. I love being able to dissect it. I love being able to go, okay, this is how this works. This is what's happening, right? But it's not really incentivized. And even then, the stuff that clearly has been popular in the past as well, right? It doesn't perform anymore, right? Old fat electrician videos I've done, right? We have old fat electrician video, old Russian badger video, right? And then you look at what I'm doing currently, and I mean, bro, I've cratered. So if I react to stuff that, and I make content on things that I like, right, like this, and it doesn't perform well, ideally you need focusing on growth and profit isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's when it's taken to the extreme. It's when you're trying to milk everything out of it. Well, we could, just fire 2 people to save, X amount every quarter, right? And then it's like, okay, but it's the cost benefit analysis, right? So I understand what he's getting at, because I myself experience this, and it leads to burnout consistently, because I want to react to things. I want to watch things. I want to engage with things. But especially when my channel is as broad as it is and covers as many topics as it does, the algorithm doesn't know what to do with it. Does it promote Yu-Gi-Oh content? Does it promote Final Fantasy 14 content? Does it promote this, that, right? I enjoy Final Fantasy 14. I even making an edited short, like, my 14 content just doesn't do well, and that's fine. It's just it's a cost benefit understanding. Sometimes to make money, make profit, get views, growth, etc. Sometimes you do have to do things that maybe you don't want to do, but there needs to be a balance between doing things you want to do, right? Like Moist Critical, right? He does stuff that doesn't necessarily get views. It gets views, don't get me wrong, but like, he'll do things because he enjoys them. He'll do things because it's a passion project. He's not expecting 1 million views off of it. And I think that that's the sweet spot there. I think that if you try, and I think maybe that's part of the issue I'm running into, if you try to overly min-max everything, if you try to chase your algorithms, trends, etc., one, it's going to lead to burnout, but 2, it's going to just cause issues because you're not going to enjoy what you've done. I enjoy talking about things. This is what I did when I played L5R. I literally sat across from my opponent who would be playing like Crane Clan, right? My buddy played Crane Clan. I'm playing Scorpion, right? And we're shit posting the entire time about how dare you drop that courtesy of the Crane. You, sir. No. I do not want to take that card. And we're bantering back and forth. Something that, trying TCGs recently, I miss. The closest I've had is a Pokemon TCG. Like, played Yu-Gi-Oh! And dude just solitaring out Fiendsmith Lightsworn. and there's no interaction. And it's like, there's clearly interact points. There's clearly chain link 2, chain link 3 points. But it's like, where's that back and forth? So I'm rather fortunate that I had as legitimate a community and a game as L5R because it was able to impress. This is how things work. Sure, you need the ability to have your mechanical, interactions, but you also need to have that back and forth, that organic, genuine interaction. You need to balance them.
Passionate about this. There are other people who are as well, and hopefully those people will find this.
Hi.
No, probably not. And then
we used to have to worry about individual performance, that if it didn't do well, the next one probably wouldn't. But now below average performance makes the algorithm throttle subsequent uploads, not showing them as much, which leads to a downward spiral. Honestly, if that's the case, suddenly this makes things make a lot more sense, actually. Hold up. Because that would actually make sense. I would submit channel as evidence of this, right? To be able to have popular videos, to completely go to, bro cratered, right? I think there's something there. I actually thought that it was the upload did the subsequent upload, not that it led to this degenerative spiral. That's fascinating.
it's great to experiment and try something new, but now the way it is, more often than not, you're being punished for experimenting. It stifles creativity.
Yes.
And this is something I've always find hilarious. Whenever you're experimenting with something new, trying out a different idea, and then you see comments saying, he's run out of ideas. Excuse me?
What's the, Simon Whistler said it on one of his business brain blazes, allegedly. Am I right, Peter? He said it on one of his, what is it? I'm creatively bankrupt and I like, my capitalistic heart beats for ad revenue and I'm creatively bankrupt, so I'll do another Roman Empire video. And I vibe with that. I'm like, he gets it.
Like, literally something new. A new idea is no ideas.
Yes.
I'm confused, man. Certain things are being incentivized and everything becomes more samey. Like thumbnails. When you look at video thumbnails now, there's certain predominant style that just so many people adopt because that's what works.
Yes.
It's so bland. You know, just surrounded by fakeness. And I don't really know what to do about it because, well, I'm not in charge of the stuff. All I can do is rant into the void, which I'm doing right now, which solves nothing, but it's authentic. I feel like I'm undermining my point. If I want to argue in favor of authenticity, then this is what's authentic. I feel like
if everything is authentic, then is nothing authentic? We're getting some paradox logic here.
sometimes the lower quality is better if it's more real.
Yeah.
You know, all this polished stuff, if it feels fake, what's the point? I used to do more personal stuff, videos where I talk about all kinds of topics and just show you things that I'm interested in outside of the railroad that is whatever, historical arms and armor, fantasy, overthinking, all the other stuff that I do. But then over time, I guess the algorithm kind of whipped it out of me.
Yeah.
But now that the other stuff doesn't work so well anymore, I'm kind of thinking, fuck it. I might as well just do more like this. I don't know.
Yes.
I really don't know. I'm just kind of in flux right now, thinking about a bunch of things. And yeah, thank you for listening to this. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments. Not for engagement bait. I'm genuinely curious what you think. Thanks for watching.
Well, I will use this video as a one large comments. I think that there was a lot of value in this. I think that he brought up a lot of good points. I think that there is going to be there is currently an issue with authenticity, and I think that the thing to remember and the thing to take away from this is to remember that we need to support people who are authentic. We need to make sure that we're supporting the people who are a source of positivity. Not even necessarily positivity, but just a source of like being genuine. Because if we don't, there's a number of AI slop channels, videos, metas, etc. that will just fill the void. So we need to make sure that we're cherishing and we need to make sure that we're supporting what creators we find out who are genuine. So that's my little rant from that one. Appreciate it, Skallagrim. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Skallagrim, for such an amazing upload. Definitely go check out Skallagrim if you have not, especially if you have. Go ahead and check him out again. I'll see you in the next one.